Australian beef, it's among the best in the world. With great flavour, great texture, it's a great source of protein, and it's very simple to prepare in such dishes as the Consuming Passions peppered steak with leek and oyster seasoning. First to the steak. I'm using about 400 grams of fillet steak, which I rub with oil. Any oil for this job will do, but it should be one that's low in saturated fat. Now, although fillet is not one of the cheapest cuts, the 400 grams will do for 4 people in this dish. It's almost secondary to the other ingredients. Once oiled and peppered, I sear the meat in a frying pan or on a skillet such as this. Top and bottom and sides to just brown. It doesn't need to cook through. I like to serve this meat rare. Once seared, I transfer to a baking tray and put it in the oven at about 200 degrees for around 15 minutes. Then it's taken out and allowed to rest for about 10 minutes. Now to the vegetable part of the recipe. I start with spring onions, which I cut into small pieces, mostly the white part, but some of the green, and some leeks, the younger the better, which I top and tail, and then clean by cutting through the ends and dunking in water before cutting into thin strips, almost like tagliatelle. Some garlic, which is chopped finely, and I cut some washed Chinese greens into smallish pieces. Now, over high heat, in a wok or a large frying pan, go 2 oils: peanut oil, or another mildly flavoured oil, and a little sesame oil for that extra nuttiness. About a tablespoon of peanut oil to a teaspoon of sesame. In go the spring onions to fry for just a few seconds. Then the leek strips and the garlic. Yes, yes. These are cooked for several minutes, and I keep the mixture moist with a splash or two of freshly squeezed orange juice, a little stock, chicken or vegetable stock, and next in go the Chinese greens, which I cook for a minute or 2 with the other ingredients. And now to some fabulous flavourings. Mirrin, the sweetened rice wine, and oyster sauce. Well, oysters do go well with beef, surprisingly enough. If I need to moisten any more, I just add a little more stock. Now, when it's time to serve, I like to put this dish onto a crouton of bread. Very good bread is just toasted and smeared with extra virgin olive oil. Now to the fillet. I cut it into thin slices, and as I said, I like my fillet rare, but if you wanted yours medium rare or medium, then just leave it in the oven a little longer. By the way, there's no such thing in my view as well done steak. If it's well done, it's probably overdone. It'll spoil the texture and the flavour. Now, the stir-fried leeks with the Chinese greens and the spring onions are perched on the crouton. The pieces of fillet are perched on the vegetables, and I garnish with freshly chopped parsley and maybe some thin strips of raw young beetroot for colour and crunch. And there it is, absolute bliss. Degree of difficulty, low. Preparation time, about 35 minutes all up, including the cooking. And keepability, best eaten immediately. So there it is, the Consuming Passions peppered steak with oyster-flavoured leek. Wonderful with an Australian red wine, possibly a Cabernet Sauvignon. From Consuming Passions till next time, bon appétit.